Welcome back, everybody. We are back in Vintage Story on our vanilla playthrough, and we're still out searching for the elusive limestone or chalk biome. We're going to head south from our raft here and see what we find. And we were still at that trader that we found for building materials. Again, not the one we were looking for, but we're going to go look around, see if we can't find these things here that we need. So we know if we head off in this direction, we had looks like a patch of stone over here. It's probably just granite or conglomerate, but we're going to go look at it anyways. And if you've been following the series and enjoying it so far, I have a playlist for this series on the channel, which I'll include in the description of this. And if you like this kind of content, like and subscribe. And also, leave me comments. Tell me what you enjoy, tell me what you don't enjoy, and check out some of my other series and things I've been putting out and seeing if you like those, and leave comments there. You know, I love feedback. I love hearing from you all. So, again, thank you for joining me. And let's see what we find here. We've got some ruins around this granite. This is an interesting set of ruins just around that. Not sure what's going on there, but that's interesting. We are dealing with some temporal instability. You notice my gear moving down there at the bottom of the screen. So let's head back up this way. We got a raccoon there. Got some spelt that's growing, which is a type of grain. Looks like some ready to be harvested over here. Is that spelt? It is, and we'll grab it just because we already have spelt in our inventory. And so what do we have here? Besides some carrots. It's a granite gravel. So I was right. This is granite. Some loose flint. Not that we need any of that. Alright, so that was, again, not what we were looking for. So we'll head on back towards our boat here. Maybe head to the south a bit. You'll see what these orange... Love these flowers over here, by the way. They look really nice. You can see them on the map. Get these nice big fields. Like this catmint is pretty nice. And then these lupines, which come in all varieties of colors. All very native, you know, all natural in this game. You know, they do a lot of work on this. Really can't wait for the next update they've got coming out. We're going to head further south here. We'll go check this biome. I expect that's probably going to be granite as well, but we're going to go check it out. The other thing I'm going to have to do soon is get back to base and finish our housing project. The cornflowers, nice. What time is it? Midday. It's getting a little late in the day, so I may head back to the merchant. Okay, that's just a pine tree over there. For a second there, I thought I saw another merchant. We are dealing with some temporal instability here. Got a cave here. I'm not going to go exploring that cave, though. See if we can't climb our way back out without having to dig our way out there. Alright. Let's see what we've got in this direction. Keep seeing that raccoon there. Lots of carrots down this area. And here we are at that stony, deserty biome that we saw on the map. We'll see what kind it is. Hopefully it's something useful. I suspect it's just granite, though. Yeah, it's just granite. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be. A little unfortunate, but not entirely useless, potentially. So we're going to take a look around and see if we can find, like, a surface deposit of some borax or something. Because if we can, we'll mark it, and then we'll come back for it. Because I did not bring my pickaxe with me. Which, in hindsight, would have been the right thing to do, is bring my pickaxe with me. But hindsight is 20/20, as they say. Got another one of those weird, like, columns inside some ruins there. If those are something special, let me know in the comments, because I just seems too, like, intentional in the game to just be nothing. Eat the rest of these berries in my inventory here. Oh, we've got a copper deposit here. Not too important, but we'll mark it anyways. Okay, I'm going to work my way back towards that merchant, because I think we're going to just crash in that merchant's bed for the evening, so we're not just wandering around out at night. Oh, wait. What is that? That's cracked granite. Okay. It's there. I thought that pattern on that granite that was sticking out might have been like some coal or something. Or some tin. But it was not. It was just cracked. Alright. It's getting dark in the game. Go ahead and put that in my offhand just so I can keep my torch up. Lots of this granite gravel. This would be great if we wanted to pan for granite or other things here. We got another little copper node here, which I'll mark. Not that I intend to be this far south that often, but you never know. As I said, I'll grab some of this mature spelt just because, one, it is food that we can carry back with us, and two, we've already got it in our inventory. And that's extra seeds that we can make use of. Yeah, we got some more turnips, too. Yeah, we'll take these with us because we've got a slot on our boat for turnips. And I'm really thinking that we might just head back to our main house area to offload some stuff. And to also maybe do some prospecting. See, we got conglomerate sand. Go. Get through that. Alright, let's see here. We're getting close to that trader here. Conglomerate stone, conglomerate sand. Actually, do I have a place? Yeah, I have enough. Alright, so let's get the axe out. We're going to grab some sticks here. Cut down this maple tree real quick. There we go. I'm going to cut this maple tree down because I'm going to take the wood and use it to build a campfire near the trader so I can cook this meat I've got in my inventory. Don't really want it going to waste. Let's see if this trader actually had a bed, or if we're going to have to break out our own bed. Still checking all these rocks in the ground. Make sure I don't miss like a surface borax deposit. Okay, he does indeed have a bed. Yes, 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 yes. I hear you. I hear you. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and build our campfire here real quick. There we go. Cool. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and throw this meat in there. Just because we don't want that going to waste on us. What is this? So this thule that I'm looking at here, you can harvest to get thatching, which you can use to make thatched roofs without having to use grass. I was seeing if it was papyrus, because I've not actually ever found papyrus in the game, though I don't think I'm far enough south for papyrus. I'm gonna harvest up a little bit of this grass. Since I've used some of my grass. There we go. That gets me a nice full sec again. Alright. Once the firewood runs out, we're going to switch it over to burning some of these extra sticks I've been carrying around. At this rate, I'm going to have to go get some of the fat off my boat and start this hide processing. But let's see here. Not seeing anything of great interest in this area at the moment. So we'll check our map a little bit. So yeah, all that's going to be granite. That's like a granite desert. So we'll have to go out and around and see if we can't find something a little better. Give you an idea of how far we've traveled. We're here. We started all the way up here at our house up there. So we sailed all the way down and around. And that was about an hour and a half of sailing and traveling and exploring a little bit. Just to do that. And we still have not found a good source of lime that we need to make leather. So I've been watching another guy's series, a guy named Hardware Despair. Oh, well, his name is Ryan, but his channel's called Hardware Despair. And he's been doing a Snowball Earth series, which is absolutely fascinating to me. And I might try something similar at some point in the future, just because it seems like an interesting challenge. But in his playthrough, like, he's drowning in limestone. He's got limestone everywhere. And I'm just like, I would kill for that much limestone. It actually kind of makes me wonder, because of the settings on his world, if limestone actually occurs more often in colder climates. So maybe I need to be going north instead of south. Because now I tend to find chalk biomes when I'm looking for this stuff. So I'm wondering if limestone's more cold than, you know, chalk. Where chalk tends to be more deserty. Gonna eat this bushmeat here. There we go. Alright. Character's fed. And we're gonna hit the hay here. And fast forward to morning. Get some light out. Get back to our raft. And keep exploring. There we are. Eat some more of our bushmeat. Helps me go the right direction to my raft. There we go. Hunger meter's all topped off. We've eaten all the bushmeat that we had. Might even still have some in the raft, actually. I see, you know, this flax is getting close, too. I kind of wish this flax was ready. I'd take that with me. Because part of the reason I'm trying to make all this leather is so that I can make leather backpacks. As that would provide us, you know, a lot of storage. But you can also use linen for linen backpacks. And yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and take... I hate to do this with this fat, because it's only one medium hide. We're just going to go ahead and prepare it, so it's not... doesn't go to waste. Alright. Let's back off to shore here. Let's go around. Here we go. Continuing our journey in search of quicklime. Yeah, to stick towards that gap over there. A lot of rain in this episode and last episode, it seems like. I mean, but this exploration's good because it gives us more chances to find, you know, merchants and traders. Hopefully find the treasure hunter trader that we need. I was really hoping we'd find one closer to our house, but you know, sometimes you just gotta travel in this game. At least we have nice travel music when we travel. What's that? Is that some more high fertility soil there? It is. Oh, we'll take that. There we go. Let's add that to our stack. Because if I can get a full stack of high fertility soil, that'd be nice. Take a look at this conglomerate stone. Oh, that's lots of conglomerate. Let's see here. I have enough cattails on me. I could theoretically stop and get some of these horsetail flowers to make some bandages in case my character gets hurt again. Wouldn't be the worst idea. Rich activities medium, that explains why I'm starting to see temporal rifts around. See, there's one of the fish in the game they plan to add more of. More types of fish. Which I look forward to. I'd love to see, like, an actual fishing camp. Oh, hold on. Hold on. I see something that looks like borax. That is not quartz. That is borax. We found it. Now, the other thing I've realized is we actually can't mine borax yet. Because we don't have a bronze pick. You have to have bronze or better to mine borax. I realized that after I was doing this whole long journey to find something. But we'll need the borax for the Iron Age. Not to get into the Iron Age. You can just get into the Iron Age with bronze tools. But you need the borax to get yourself an iron anvil. Because you have to have borax to weld the top part and the bottom part of your iron anvil together. So while that's not what we're looking for immediately, I mean, it would work. It would let us do the leather making we wanted if we could mine it. Which is the big if. Which we can't at the moment. But that's something I could theoretically fix. I know where all the tin and copper is that I would need to make bronze, so like I could get my hands on it. But it's more important so that we can get an iron anvil, because we'll need an iron anvil if we want to do steel at some point. But let's keep going. So, with that in mind, we have theoretically found a solution to our problem. But let's keep going, see what else we can find. Because I would much prefer to find some limestone or chalk. That way we could really solve our lime issue without needing to use borax. There's other things you can use lime for as well, besides just making leather. Just interesting landscape we're in right now. Like these almost carved out hills and stuff. Let's see here, map wise. Okay, we can get through here. It's gonna be tight. Kind of makes me think of like areas out west, like Utah, where you can see like the arches that have been carved out by the wind and stuff. It almost makes me think of that. Okay, can we keep getting through? Nope, we're gonna actually have to go back out because we cannot get through this. That is unfortunate. What is that? It looks like a very densely forested area. Let's see here. Am I seeing anything else just obviously sticking out to me before I just call it and head back? Nope, I think we'll turn around and start heading back at this point. Although, that looks like that could be merchant over there. So let's go hit that up real quick. See, that's why you always double check your map. You never know, you might see... Yeah, see, I can see him through the trees over there. Right through there. There's that merchant. Let's go see what kind of merchant it is. Maybe we'll get lucky. Maybe this is that treasure hunter merchant we've been looking for. Maybe this little thin strip of sand is actually limestone sand. Nope, it's just granite sand. No, we can always hope. Alright. Shale sand. Interesting. There we go. Put that down. Get out. This is a fancy hermit, or a merchant. He's got like a whole double entry thing here. I can't get up in there. What kind of vessel he's got here? Cracked farming vessel. Okay. So let's see what kind of a merchant. Oh wow, he's actually got a door instead of a gate. Wooden bucket. Seeing if there's anything. He's got a nice wooden bed. So let's talk to him. It's an agricultural supplier. Interesting. Let's ask him his name. It's Hector. Nice. And what's what he's got to sell? He's got parchment. Cool. Maple seeds. Cool. He's selling spelt bread and flax bread and beeswax, which is really nice. Now we have bees, so we don't have to buy it. So this would be a way for you to get beeswax and honey if you didn't have bees. He's also selling cranberries and flaxseed, which is also very nice. Also interesting, he's selling blue cheese, which is cool. But let's see, he'll buy woolen scarves, he'll buy wool-lined boots, tin bronze hose, black bronze knife, tin bronze knife, black bronze scythe. That's expensive. Shepherd sandals. Aged crate clothes. So these aged crates that they're talking about, you usually get these from like, you know, dungeons and little things you can find, little interesting points. Bismuth bronze knife. That can be tough to make. He's just running into me or kind of thing. Alright, so interesting. I'm definitely going to note him, because that's a pretty good find. So that'll let us, because he'll cycle out different types of seeds and things. So let's give him a good marker here. So trader, and we'll go with kind of this green, I think, and we'll just go ag. So that I know he's an agricultural trader. There we go. I think they can also get things like saplings, but I'm not sure. That'd be cool if they can. I don't know if they can. Alright, well, I think we've kind of exhausted our search here. But we did find Borax. So, I mean, that's technically a win. Isn't the win we necessarily wanted, but it is a win. So we're going to work our way back to base, re-gear up, change out our equipment, and probably do some prospecting and mining, seeing if we can't solve our lime solution that way. As well as, you know, maybe head north this time instead of south, because it's getting to be kind of a long journey south without a whole lot of luck. So I'm probably going to cut out a lot of the trip because I don't intend on stopping. So I'll see you back at the house. Alright, folks, I'm going to bring us back real quick. I know we're not back at the base yet, and that's mostly because, as I was heading back, I decided to do a slight jaunt east here on the way back north, and something spotted my eye, and that was just this trader here. And we haven't even gone to see what kind of trader it is. He's got barrels and aged crates on his back, resonator on the back of the thing. So we're going to see what kind of trader this is, and he's on the edge of a chert and conglomerate stone biome here. So let's see what he is. And it's a survival goods supplier. Interesting. I don't think I've ever found one of these before. Let's ask him his name. It's Tyball. Interesting. It's an interesting name. Let's see what he buys and sells. Oh, that's cool. He sells business bronze, falx. I mean, no, I mispronounced it and called it flax last time. It's actually falx. But he also sells a tin's bronze pick, which is really good. That's really cool. And axe and spear. And he sells halite stones. So that lets us get salt. And he sells lime. So we can come over here and just buy the lime that we need. And he also sells wolf pups. Now that's a trade item. I know you'd be like, oh, wait, can we tame it? No. In base game, you can't tame that. It's something they may change in the future. I don't know. There are mods that change that. But this is a trade item that you can like buy from him and go sell to other people. He also sells these bronze amulets, fur coats, which you can make, shields, and, you know, some leather bracers, all kinds of little things. But he buys copper lanterns, which we could make copper lanterns to sell him. He buys rye bread. We have rye. We could make rye bread. To also buy steel. I don't have steel to sell him. He buys flax twine, which we can do that. And sewing kits, which we could also do. Tin ingots we could theoretically do. Black bronze and tin bronze lanterns as well. He also will buy rice bread. Interesting. We don't have rice, so that's the problem. And he'll also buy leather and copper. So this guy, he has lots of things that he'll buy and sell that we want. He's got 24 gears, so we're going to mark him on our map because this survival goods trader has probably just become a good friend of ours. Because he buys a lot of things that we can produce or get our hands on. So we're going to give him a nice good color here. Let's see here. Survival goods. Now maybe this kind of almost darkish red color here. We'll go survival. There we go. Totally misspelling that, I think. Misspelling that? Yes, I was. Alright. Gonna edit that. There we go. There we go. Alright. So that was a very good find on our part. I also just want to see what other type of stone biome this is over here. I think it's just more chert. But, you know, I wanted to check. Conglomerate cave over there. Yeah, it's just chert. Okay. Chert's kind of cool because it works kind of like flint. I used to collect chert in real life. Funny enough. So it's a neat little stone. So you can use it to make tools, which is nice. Some quartz there. Let's take a quick poke around, see if we see anything. Gotta be careful on this. You don't want to fall into that hole. This getting out would be rough. Same with that one. We're just gonna nose around a little bit. This is kind of high up. A lot of little pits around here. Alright. But I think that's all we really cared about, was finding out what kind of trader that was. So we're going to continue back, heading to our base, and I'll bring you back at our base, unless something else like that trader pops out that's of interest or note and worth stopping for. So, we'll see you back at the house for real this time. Okay, folks, we're back for a second. As I was on my way back to the house, going north again, I was veering kind of easterly, and found another merchant on the map. And decided to come and poke around again. Just because, you know, I kind of can't resist exploring. So we're going to go ahead and eat our character's breakfast, and we're going to go over there and see what kind of a merchant this is. I'm going to mark my boat before I forget. There we go. Let's go see what kind of merchant this one is. Another one of those with like 2 carts. It's got an earthen storage vessels with nothing in it, wooden chest. None of these crates will ever have anything in them, but you can store stuff in them. Alright. But let's see what we've got here. Got a golden treasure chest, that's kind of cool. But this is a treasure hunter merchant. We have finally found the elusive treasure hunter merchant. Alright. So, this is the guy you have to find to start the story content. So we're going to ask him his name. And his name is Shift. Shift the treasure hunter. Okay. That's great. Let's see what he's got to trade. He sells things like emeralds and treasure maps and those paradots with another type of gemstone, a lucky shirt, you know, all kinds of stuff. But he also sells these cracked vessels, which you can use to break them open to get stuff. You know, and these metal parts, which you can use to make certain late game, you know, things. But he'll buy things like linen packs and rye bread and rice bread. You know, he'll buy the puppies that the other guy was selling. Candles, you know, leather shields, sewing kits, black bronze stuff, leather backpacks, which I don't think I'd sell a leather backpack for 4 gears if I'm honest. I'll also buy those tin bronze picks, but you have to have that to, you know, start the quest. So if we go to this and we go, know of any interesting places around here, you got something big for you. Too dangerous for me, but you might be able to handle it. I can't give away a haul like this for free, though. Bring me a tin bronze pick, and I'll tell you where to find it. Trust me, it's worth your while. And that, right there, is what you have to do to start the first real part of the story quest. But I thought I'd stop by and check that merchant, so I'm going to mark him on the map before I lose that. And we're going to mark him in gold, I think, and go treasure hunter. So we know that's him. Very important. That's the guy we've been looking for. So that detour was definitely well worth it. So let's go grab our boat and now actually head back to base, because now we need to start working to get ready to actually do the first part of the story mission. Beyond also continuing to work on advancing our technology and stuff and gear. But now I'll actually head straight back to the house, and I'll bring you back when we get there. Alright. After many in-game days at sea on our raft, we finally returned back to our home shores. And here we're going to drop off our raft with our friend, the merchant who lives here. We're going to take some of these goods back to base with us here in this first trip. I'm not going to make you all watch me unload all this, but it's good to be back in familiar territory after being out and exploring so much. Now, I think one of the things we'll do at this point, I think we'll take a break from the exploring for a little bit, and I think we'll do some work in and around our current environment where we're living. We'll do some prospecting, see if we can't secure a larger amount of copper, because we're going to need it, and see if we also can't secure a local source of tin, so that we can make some tins bronze. Because I really think we should work towards getting some bronze tools under our belts, beyond just the knife I found. That way, we'll have a pickaxe that can mine the borax we did find. Maybe we can even find a local node of borax closer to home. And also, the bronze tools will just last us better. And we'll also be able to go start the story content now that we have finally found a treasure hunter who will trade us the location of the first major story dungeon. Because it is indeed a dungeon that you do have to go through. That kind of helps us know what's been going on in the world, what everything is about. And so I think our next goal should be, one, finishing the house upgrade. I think we'll do that while I work on prospecting and finding a good local source of tin. It looks like some of our trees have finally grown up, which we'll need to cut down for wood. That's probably going to go into firewood, because I don't know. Well, we'll look and see if I want to build it out of birch or not. And while we were gone, look at our bees. They have become large and harvestable, meaning we could get our first honey and honeycomb from our own domesticated bees. So, it's been a long voyage. I'm going to offload some of this stuff real quick here while we're sitting here at our base location. There we go. Put all that in there. And we'll take and put all this into storage. Well, that pelt's already ready. We carried that pelt around with us so long it cured. And it feels good to be back at our house. And let's go over here and keep offloading some of this food into storage. See, you didn't even stack those. Let's see here. See, we were gone so long, even the cranberries have started to rot. And this bushmeat started to rot. All that's... We even had lost some stuff to rot in our cellar. That's how long we were gone. But that's okay. We still have plenty of time to get more food. And also, the rot is incredibly useful. Because what we can take the rot, and we can put it in a barrel like this out here. And we can turn that rot into compost, which is what we need to make our Terra Petra, which we're going to use. So we're going to let that sit, because it's fine. I mean, should probably move it somewhere else. Yeah, we'll move it over here. Clear up some space. And since these are already going to rot anyways, we'll just take all of this and go put it over there as well. You see, the rest of this is all going to be fine for a good long time. And then we'll come over here and grab these vegetables here, which will be good for a good long time as well, especially if we put them into here. Like there, 111 days, 132 days. Yeah, so those will be fine there. And we'll just put our rotting items in here and go and let them rot. And I will intentionally be rotting things in the future to get plenty of compost. A good source of rot is bread and, to some extent, berries. Because what you can do with the berries is you can let them rot by themselves, but you don't get a great conversion rate. Or you can press them into juice and compressed berry mush, basically. And the berry mush rots pretty quickly, so you can just throw that and let it rot. And that's a 1-to-1 ratio on the berry mush. And the berry juice you can leave in a barrel outside somewhere, and it will rot as well. And that's a good way to kind of double up. And the bread, if you make dough, is a 1-to-1 ratio. So, but that's all stuff we'll do in the future. We're going to pause there for the moment. Let's see, we still got 11 days on these large hides to find and solve our lime problem. While we're sitting here thinking about it, let's look at the leather mechanic here. So it's telling us we have to do that with tannin, but we have to do a prepared hide, which, you use weak tannin, but you need scraped hide, which you have to use soaked hide. To get a soaked hide, you need either diluted borax or lime water. And to make those, it's 1 liter plus 1 lime. So to make a full barrel, which is 50 liters of lime water, we would need 50 units of lime, or if we go with the borax route, it's even worse. You need 2 borax per 5 liters. That's why people prefer the lime. Not to mention borax is much more important for other things. So, just want to give you an idea of why we're looking for lime. I think the other thing we'll do while we're back at base is I think we'll improve our cellar there. We'll finish putting in shelves. We'll get these baskets out of here because they don't need to be in here anymore. We'll put in shelves. We'll put in more storage vessels. We'll knock out this stone here so we can put storage vessels under the shelves. And we'll move our house, or our bed, out into our actual house out here along with our cooking equipment. So I think we're going to work on all that here next. So I'll bring you back once we get everything offloaded and get ready to do that and are kind of set up for that point. All right? All right, folks. Bringing us back to show you kind of what I've started here. I've been making some pine boards here to build the house out of. I need to add some more on this side, but we're getting the outlines done here. I've put a little staircase in, put in doors. We've moved the bed in here, and I put in a double door to go into the blacksmithing area. I've also kind of expanded the floor on a little bit. And I'm thinking for the blacksmith area, I might go for a dub. And I'm also going to expand the blacksmith area back this way a bit. And I'm going to move my pit kilns from up there to down here, I think. And just add that as part of the workshop. That's where we're at so far. So I need to finish this back wall. I need to fill in that little gap there. I think I'm going to do 2x2 windows here with the glass once I get the glass ready and made. And I'm going to do some more work, and I'll bring you back when we've made a bit more progress. Okay, folks, I thought I'd bring you back and show you how the shears work. While I'm in the process of building out my shop here, I decided to get rid of these trees to help get a little more wood and to get the sticks I need to do kind of what I want to do with these walls. So I'm left picking the tree, and look at how much that's just clearing out right there. It's just clearing out a huge bulk of the leaves and the branches off the tree, giving us lots of sticks, which is what I needed for this stage of the project I'm working on for my new house. So this is just a much more efficient way of clearing the leaves and branches off trees. I thought I'd show that while I was taking a little break from the actual construction project here. But I'll bring you back here in a second once I've kind of finished laying out what I want to lay out here. Okay, folks. I'm going to show you this last thing that I'm working on here. And that is, you see this? This is wattle fencing. And I'm laying this out because I want the wall of my blacksmith shop here to be a wattle and daub construction. I'm leaving this part open because that's going to be where our door in is going to be. I'm going to do the same thing on the back side here eventually. Although this is where my pit kilns are going to be. So I'm having to think about how I want to do that one, because you don't want anything flammable next to the pit kilns. They will set it on fire. So I'm actually hoping my wood support column here is actually far enough away from this one. But we'll find out in the near future. But I just wanted to show you that. I think we're going to call it there for now. Although I should go ahead and put some fencing over here. If nothing else to keep the drifters out of my house. So we're going to call it there for now. Thanks for joining me on this episode. And come back and see me next time. Again, this is Alan McRom, and we're doing a vanilla playthrough of Vintage Story. As the storm is rolling in here, I'm closing this out. It's kind of funny. Alright. Well, folks, we'll catch you next time. Thank you. And it's good having you.